We buy massive, expensive software platforms to empower our workforce. Yet, when those platforms inevitably fail to communicate, we force our people to step behind that glass and patch the broken technology themselves. From the C-suite, the operation looks flawless. The executive dashboard glows green, displaying a cleanly aggregated, real-time overview of the business. But step onto the floor of a shipping port or a regional hospital, and the reality is entirely different. These frontline environments are rarely running on the official enterprise software. They survive on a shadow network, a fragile, disconnected web of manually updated spreadsheets and static data exports. When targets are missed and deadlines slip, leadership looks at the data and cites execution fatigue. They assume the human operators simply failed to keep pace with the workload. This diagnosis is entirely backwards. The fatigue is real, but it is not a failure of effort. It is the direct result of an architectural flaw, a hard-coded reliance on manual data entry to bridge systems that refuse to integrate. To understand why these systems fail, we need to look at the principles of Dieter Rams. His engineering philosophy demands functional clarity, visual order, and the aggressive reduction of bloat. Examine the interface of this Braun calculator. The best tools achieve their designated goal with strict simplicity. Every unnecessary element is stripped away to eliminate operational friction. Modern enterprise architecture violates this principle at every level. Instead of simplifying workflows, organizations scale their software complexity, layering massive platforms on top of one another without regard for how they will interact. This density creates an impossible environment for the operator. To survive their shift, they abandon the official bloated software and retreat into hidden analog workarounds where they can actually control the data. Until we apply aggressive functional reduction to our operational architecture, organizations will continue to fund their own gridlock. This systemic failure creates a specific anti-pattern, the human API. When multi-million-dollar platforms lack the capacity to pass data to one another, organizations force a human operator to act as the integration layer. Picture a logistics coordinator sitting at a terminal. They download a shipping manifest from one database, open a secondary inventory tracker, and manually type the values from one screen into the other. The operation is entirely stalled until they finish. This task requires zero analytical thought. We take highly capable professionals and reduce them to the function of a physical webhook. Humans get tired, their attention wanes. Relying on manual keystrokes to bridge databases guarantees data corruption and critical errors. Treating human intellect as a physical integration tool is the single most expensive and degrading leak of potential in a modern enterprise. If these workarounds are so inefficient, we have to ask why organizations with massive technology budgets consistently protect and maintain these manual spreadsheets. The answer lies in middle management. Project management office leads and regional directors are the architects and owners of this shadow network. These manual files serve a specific critical purpose. They provide a localized dashboard that the manager fully controls, entirely insulated from the unreliability of the broader enterprise software. This is a requirement for psychological safety. In a high-blame corporate environment, owning a static, isolated dataset acts as a shield against direct executive scrutiny. The shadow network is not an act of malice or deliberate sabotage. It's a protective behavioral mechanism, but one that inevitably guarantees catastrophic data latency across the organization. There is a severe mismatch between the physical velocity of a live supply chain and the stagnant speed of manual reporting. On the top track, a supply chain disruption occurs in real time. On the bottom track, the record is processed through a manual reporting factory, surfacing in a retrospective meeting 5 days after the disruption hit. The financial consequence of this administrative delay is absolute. By the time leadership sees the variance, the window to reallocate capital or adjust the execution strategy has permanently closed. Any cross-functional operation that relies on a weekly sync to discover its risks is operating structurally blind. We can fix this through restorative engineering. The 48-hour protocol is a minimalist architectural teardown of the PMO shadow network, designed to remove the human from the data transfer. Step 1 is to map the process. Identify the exact cell values manually copied between platforms every shift. Step 2 is the bridge. Deploy a low-code webhook to force a connection between the systems, bypassing the operator entirely. If the enterprise software resists that integration, Step 3 is extraction. You write a basic parsing script that reads the raw CSV export and writes directly to your target database. This new system carries a strict physical constraint. The code-based extraction logic must execute in under 200 milliseconds. This is the law of asynchrony. A critical status update must never wait for an arbitrary calendar invite. The moment our 200 millisecond extraction detects a data mismatch, it bypasses the schedule and automatically triggers an asynchronous text alert directly to the accountable owner. Effective leaders design structural visibility where reporting rhythms align exclusively with actual required decision points. The transition is mandatory. Binary, automated data systems must definitively replace manual file merge architectures across the enterprise. Removing this friction is about ending the soul-draining exhaustion placed on frontline workers, who are hired for their expertise but utilized as data entry clerks. The final operational directive is clear. Cancel your weekly alignment meetings. Demand concise, asynchronous text briefs instead. Project managers and enterprise architects must step away from the illusion of control that static spreadsheets provide and learn to rely on raw, binary truth. Deploy this extraction architecture. Stop copying data, start making actual decisions, and give your frontline operators their intellect back.